Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shout class between Top Class Foo versus Marps Prime here on Scrap Station. Marps Prime spawning as the... Oops, sorry about that. Marps Prime spawning as the blue Zerg, meanwhile Top Class spawning as the red Terran. Now this will be the only game that I post on YouTube today. I did have a marathon session of shoutcasting with Rage Quit TV, Drool of my friends over there on the European servers. I casted a lot of the Computer Cup number 20 as my computer seems to be going through its normal startup routines and trying to just very much annoy me as I try to close down Raptor and close down a lot of the other applications. Anyways, Marps Prime now moving across with this one Overlord. We'll be able to do some early scouting in just a moment. Meanwhile, Top Class Foo over here will be setting up a barracks and then most likely trying to do a little bit of a wall off just so that those Zerglings will not be able to run in nearly as much. Now, one of the things interesting about Scrap Station is that the map is not mirrored very well. This location right here does have a very narrow choke point where two barracks or two gateways can be placed down in order to wall it off. However, this side does not have that same ability. So it takes many more buildings in order to complete that wall off, and just one of the things that does not make this map very symmetrical. The barracks is now coming into play. I do expect a refinery to be coming in, but it does look like it will be a little bit delayed, and he might in fact go for 14 racks. A dual 14 racks would be a fairly interesting strategy at this point, as we now are getting up to 170 minerals, and I'm wondering what exactly he is going for. Marps Prime is going to come over here and notice that there is not two gas or even one gas currently being laid down. Back over here there is another Overlord, but I'm really curious as to what exactly Top Class Foo will be going for. It does look like there is now an SCV on the way, upgrading to an orbital command, and now that refinery is being placed down after Marps Prime moves away. So that is a very much large of a mind game, and now Marps Prime may overreact and create way too many Zerglings, thinking that there is going to be a barracks being placed down somewhere. However, Marps Prime now going for a double extractor, so not exactly sure what the double extractor opening will be meaning. I do suspect that he will be trying to go for Banelings, as Banelings is the standard opening in order to try to detract against any mass marine Baneling play. We do see that we're currently close to about 400 minerals, so we could be seeing an SCV trying to set up an expansion down over here. Yes, we do. There's that wireframe on an upcoming command center as Zerglings now try to chase down this one SCV. SCV just going to run around back and forth, continue to just try to mine away, as we now see Marps Prime going into tier 2. So hatchery tier 2, and what will Marps Prime be doing? We do see double gas already down, so he could try to go for a mass Mutalisk, and Mutalisk are going to be very strong here on this map. Just because of the positioning, we do see a factory now being placed down. Barracks is lifted off for just a little bit. Now going to be placing down a tech lab here, and Marines are also on the move as well. That one those two Zerglings able to take down that SCV before the SCV was able to return home. Marines just want to get that vengeance kill back on top of those Zerglings. Zerglings now moving forward, and the Marines will be able to take down one of those Zerglings very easily. Another Zergling able to squeeze by though, and now we see a bunker being placed down. The Zergling, however, looking around, doesn't know about the command center that is nearing completion over here, and those Marines going to be able to shoot down that Zergling down to 3 hit points, and now will be able to scout out this location, and that was very critical. So Top Class currently upgrading or building this command center here will be able to start mining out of 16 mineral patches much earlier than Zerg. However, we are now going into an infestation pit. So this is a very early infestation pit. The Overlord hiding the infestation pit over here, so a scanner sweep would not reveal it, and now in comes some spine crawlers. So infestation pit with fungal growth, those infestors would be able to deal a lot of damage, and now currently just trying to power drone Marps Prime, getting an even more and more larvae. So he should be able to get a beyond full saturation over here. Yeah, only needing 4 more drones before no additional drones will be able to return any additional minerals, and now Marps should be able to get one hatchery over here in just a moment. There we go, and now setting up that natural expansion. I believe that the Spinecrawler did get that kill, as the Overlords now have that movement upgrade. So economic game definitely in favor of Top Class right now, sitting on 25 harvesters with double orbital command centers, mining off of 16 mineral patches, compared to Marps. As there is now an alarm going on in the back of my house. Let me go ahead and turn that off. Come on. Alright, so there we go. Getting back into the game, we now have Infestors currently coming out, and that is going to be a lot. That is going to be very, very early Infestors. I think that's the first time I've seen Infestors 7 minutes into this game. They will be able to get a lot of energy, and that will become very critical. We do see Hellions now on the move, and those Infestors should be decent counters towards those Hellions, as there is also one Spinecrawler. However, the blue flame on those Hellions will be able to torch, quickly taking down 2 Zerglings there. We now see 3 Infestors, and do we have the Ventral Sack upgrades? No, we do not have the Ventral Sack upgrades, so we will not be getting any drop coming in anytime soon. The level 1 weapons upgrade now coming out for those Hellions, as we are still getting more and more Infestors. So currently have 3 Infestors in play. The Hellions still standing out here, waiting to deal some additional damage. Those Zerglings now will be able to benefit from that additional creep being spread out by Marps' overlords. Back over here, or just in Infestor, or sorry, the income tab, 14 or almost 1400 minerals for a short amount of time. Now currently 1400 versus 700. Marps in a serious trouble, as he needs to start power droning and get more drones. Now transferring some drones from the main base to the natural expansion. He does have a lot of work in order to just try to catch up. He is harvesting off of 4 gas though, so his gas production is equaling top class Fu at this stage in the game. Hellions not moving out, and now we see one overlord able to get some sight as well, and now we are transitioning into Hellions and Thors. Hellion and Thors, I do not see Neural Parasite being researched anywhere anytime soon. We do see that Overlord still and the spawning creep over here, making sure that that infestation pit doesn't take any damage since it is off the natural creep. And now we are getting the Ventral Sack upgrades. So Ventral Sack upgrades underway will allow for the pickup and the drop off on these Infestors. And Infestors are very interesting in that, Infestors are very interesting in... How come he cannot? Oh yeah, that's not the research, that is actual Infestors. And now in comes a Fungal Growth, so nicely done there. So just Chain Fungal Growth will be able to take down multiple Hellions. Hellions don't have anywhere to run. One more Fungal Growth, there we go. And down go all of those Hellions. 225 energy to take down 4 Hellions. Nicely done. However, the cat is out of the bag, and Marps Prime is going mass Infestors, and now also getting a Spire Tech. 2 additional Infestors also coming online in just a moment, and we should be getting a drop of Infestors momentarily. We now have 6 Infestors now moving out. Those Infestors do move at a decent movement speed, I believe the fastest out of all of the casters in the game, and we'll be able to go into those Overlords in just a moment, as that Ventral Sack upgrade is nearing completion. And now we do see a nice Fungal Growth there. Are we gonna get the spawns of infested Terrans? No, Queen's now just gonna come in, get some damage. We're gonna get another Fungal Growth. Nicely done. And top class Flu once again going to lose another medevac. 2 Infestors and Queens, 2 Hellions quickly getting taken down, and now a lot of Infestors now going to come in, and this is a very dangerous drop, as the Hellions will be trying to run around that corner. We do see 2 Infestors here. We do not see the pathogen gland yet, and as an Overlord needs a spawn creep over here, otherwise that infestation pit will be able to stay in this game. And now out drop all of these Zerglings, and now in come some of those Infestors. Infestors are taking a lot of damage, and now need to get some Fungal Growths off. Over here infested Terrans now coming in, and now in comes some Fungal Growth, and that's going to be a lot of damage dealt across multiple SCVs, as those infested Terrans are now pushing that damage, clearing out most of those SCVs. Those expensive units need to jump inside those Overlords and able to escape, but the damage has pretty much been dealt. 49 Harvesters, top class Food did have a significant economic lead, however does not have it any longer. One of those stores down to 8 hit points, as well as those SCVs now being transferred over, and the game is now pretty much even, as we are now getting some infested Terrans to try to shoot down this barracks over here. Perhaps the drone wants to grow up to be a hatchery. Top class Food sitting on only 200 minerals. Meanwhile, Marps Prime sitting on about 1800 minerals will be able to finish off this barracks in just a moment. That is a lot of damage being dealt by these infested Gauss Rifles. These infested Marines lasting 30 game seconds. Now will be shot out of the sky in just a moment. That damage is starting to cause that barracks to burn, and as that barracks slowly burns away, it will force top class Food to try to build another barracks, as he will not be able to build any additional factories. We do see a starport with a reactor core will be able to double train medevacs, and now we are getting the level 2 weapons upgrades for those siege tanks and those Thors. Transitioning, we now see Marps Prime going into mass, or going into Mutalisks by 14 Mutalisks in the air. We'll be able to cut off many of those Hellions now moving around the map, and will these, yes, the Mutalisks now going after some of these orbital command centers over here, taking a fair amount of damage, already down to 1,000 hit points. We should see a Thor now trying to make its way over. No, Vikings now coming in, and that is a large amount of Vikings, enough to at least force some of those Mutalisks back, quickly taking down one of those Marines, and now trying to come back in. There are even more Mutalisks coming in, and those Vikings are going to have a very, very difficult time trying to move back, attack and move. The orbital command now down to 200 some odd hit points, down to 100, down to 3 hit points, and there it goes. The command center has been taken down, making it very difficult for top class food to get another expansion up, as we already see an expansion up by Marps Prime over here on the island expansion. Gonna clean up some of the rest of these Hellions over here, as those Hellions try to fly away, or run away from those flying Mutalisks. However, the Mutalisks able to turn on a dime in the air and deal a lot of damage across multiple Hellions once again. One SCV activating that Xel'Naga Watchtower, quickly getting taken down, and now we see a command center being built on this low ground location. We have a couple siege tanks over here. They maybe come into siege mode in order to try to fight back, yes, and now I'm assuming that this will be upgraded to a planetary fortress when the time comes. Top class food sitting on 2 Thors here, and now we have a couple Infestors here that are just simply sitting there, not doing anything at all. We know that we did drop some infested Terrans. However, the Overlord that transported them have been taken down. No burrow for those units. However, even if they did had burrow, the missile turret would reveal them, and down it goes. A burning infested or infestor right there, getting taken down. But more damage has been dealt. 48 harvesters now for top class food. Marps Prime sitting at about 68. We are seeing more expansions now coming in, and Marps Prime has been revealed to top class with that scanner sweep there, currently running off of 3 bases, trying to run off of 4. More spine crawlers coming in, drones now being transferred as well, and this is one of the reasons why Zerg should really invest in a Nidus network here on this map. Mutalisks now coming in as well. Mutalisks going to clean up many of these missile turrets, and now dealing so much damage, as now Zergling's going to come out. So Zergling's going to simply be able to swarm around this one Thor. The Thor is only able to shoot down 1 Zergling at a time, so not the best counter to this. SCV is now trying to come in, able to repair, and just enough, down to 0 hit points, and there it goes. I thought the SCVs were going to be able to help repair it, but no, was not able to. A day late and $1 short, as those siege tanks now trekking out over here, going to take down these destructible rocks and then try to take down this hatchery that's currently being built. However, there is a swarm of Mutalisks in the air, and now Mutalisks taking down some of those Thors. The Thors are not in position. Now magic box technique needs to be used, and now more Thors trying to move back, going after one Thor, going after another Thor, and down it goes. Where are that missile turret? 1 missile turret and some Vikings now coming in. Vikings with that 9 range, able to deal a lot of damage. However, these rocks are still in play, and those siege tanks were forced to retreat. So we now have a couple Mutalisks still flying around the map. There are some, a lot of spine crawlers here, and I like the use of the spawn creep coming in from these overlords. I'm taking a look still at the unit combination. We have 23 Mutalisks in the air, as these Mutalisks are reaching a critical mass. Thors and Vikings are going to very much have their work cut out for them, because they will be able to deal a lot of damage. However, now the Hellions coming in. Hellions getting a lot of drone kills there once again, but the Mutalisks were able to come in and push in and deal more damage. So top class food needs to take another expansion, and needs to simply try to deny this expansion over here. Only 7 mineral patches on this expansion, and now you can see Marps trying to focus mainly on getting more and more gas, as spine crawlers being built, acting as a little bit of defense, trying to buy time. But that's simply too many siege tanks. 14 siege tanks able to blast apart. Siege tanks dealing 31 damage per round of attack, as it is fully upgraded. However, the Mutalisks now coming in over here, able to pick apart many of those siege tanks. There is 1 missile turret in play, but not going to be enough, as Marps Prime cleaning up many of these SCVs. Vikings now trying to make it over, unable to catch up to those Mutalisks. Mutalisks are simply so strong and so fast, able to be wherever they want to be, and able to deal so much damage. Vikings now trying to engage once again. Mutalisks once again trying to engage, and now in comes that Thor. That Thor got a lot of splash damage, and that was beautifully done. Many of those Mutalisks were taken down, and Marps Prime not being careful. This Thor will be able to get a lot more kills once again, getting another round of those javelin missiles in the back of those Mutalisks. Mutalisks being forced to fly away. However, we are now transitioning into mass roaches. So Roaches do have that movement upgrades, currently getting Burrow, and now trying to swarm in and take down this one Thor. Thor already, and one more round of attack, there it goes. The Planetary Fortress is in play. A second command center now being laid down, may upgrade to a Planetary Fortress as well, as those Roaches could have simply just walked in and taken down this expansion. They're going to walk up that ramp now and go after some of those Thors. One Thor will get taken down, down it goes, and now more and more of those Roaches trying to deal more damage towards those that Thor there, and now dealing damage once again, as I should probably quit Skype so that it doesn't get taken, it doesn't get any sounds incoming. And so Roach is doing a great job still. More factories getting and taking more damage. Siege Tank now trying to retreat home, trying to save this, but the Roach is dealing so much damage back and forth. We now see an army of Vikings in the air trying to clean up some of those Mutalisks and those Overlords, and the Siege Tanks finally able to finish off the majority of those Roaches, as some of those Siege Tanks out of siege mode. Very, very strong against Roaches, as Roaches only have a range of 4 compared to the range of 7. Siege Tanks also dealing 31 damage per attack and firing almost twice as quickly as a Roach. Roach now just trying to move around, trying to take down this last missile turret here. If it takes it down, it should be able to burrow here and then simply regenerate some of those hit points very, very easily. And there is no improved regeneration, but enough in order to cause these siege tanks a little bit of trouble. Are they going to burrow? No, yeah, they are going to burrow there. Nicely done. Finally, in comes that scanner sweep, but that is still a waste of about 300 minerals in order to clean up Roaches that would have been dead without burrow anyways. Mutalisks once again moving back out. There is no missile turrets here. There are some Vikings, and those Vikings need to re-engage. Vikings need to take down those Mutalisks, and now those siege tanks, 2 of them already taken down, a 3rd one taken down as well, as the Roach is coming back in. Marps Prime just simply swarming with the Zerg, dealing so much damage. Infestor is now moving back once again. Roach is simply just coming around, dealing so much damage. Attack moving into these groups of siege tanks, and now the Vikings trying to come back into that ground mode, trying to offer some additional DPS on the ground as those Roaches continue to push out, and now those Roaches are burrowed. Nicely done, and I'm not sure if Topclass knows. Oh no, once again, those Roaches are back out, able to pick off another siege tank. So beautiful micro coming in from Marps, and wow, this is just a great game for a Zerg player. And just seeing the Zerg player completely roll over the Terran here. We now see a lot of Thors, sorry, a lot of Roaches here, and just burrowed. No Thors anymore, and now Thors would be a good strong counter to the Mutalisks that have been able to pick off siege tanks left and right. And overall, in this whole entire game, I do not believe I've seen one creep tumor, but somehow the creep spread is still fairly decent. Roach is now on the move, picking off many of those Hellions. Hellions getting them taken down one at a time. Still no Neuroparasite in order to grab control of that Thor. And now another burrow coming into play. Army of Marps Prime is much smaller at 1550 compared to 2150. However, the Harvester count and Topclass Fu sitting on what, about 700 to 800, so both sides still even pretty much at this stage in the game. The main base is nearly mined out. One drone trying to mine off of 4 mineral patches still, and we have Marps Prime mining out over here, and now we see a lot of drones mining here. So that's really why Marps Prime is not mining as many minerals. He doesn't have as much of a drone saturation at this island location here. So if a Nidus network would be able to get those units very, very quickly. However, Roach is now coming in, another drop. These drops have been just so effective. Marps Prime not even dealing with the Nidus network, deciding to go with Ventral Sacks, and the Ventral Sacks have really paid off in full. Topclass Fu may lose the rest of these supply depots here in the back of his base. Now trying to move out. There is one siege tank here, but trying to move all of these siege tanks back would be a mistake, as that would open up his front door so much. Siege tanks need to blast away at these destructible rocks, and SCVs want to once again start mining out of this location. Marps does know about this expansion here, as he also knows about an expansion attempt here. Roach is now on the ground, able to prevent this orbital command from landing, as these Roaches are now cleaning up, and now Topclass Fu in trouble. Once again, we now have these Roaches burrowed. Roaches, while burrowed without the tunneling claws upgrade, regenerate 5 hit points a second. So those Hellions wouldn't even be able to kill the Roaches, even if they just sat there with the scanner sweep. Not one Hellion, two Hellions perhaps, but there is also that armor upgrade. Yeah, so it would be very, very difficult for those Hellions to even get enough damage in to try to take them down. We now see Mutalisk in the air, and the Mutalisk want to take down this one orbital command. In comes a large swarm of Mutalisk once again, currently sitting on 25. There is only one missile turret in here at this time. Gonna pick off a siege tank out of position. SCV's gonna try to come in and do a surround here. However, not gonna have enough SCVs. 3 rounds of attack. Down go one missile turret. Another missile turret will get taken down here, and Marps Prime just constantly transitioning into different units, causing top class a lot of problems so far. The orbital command is now in desperate need of repair, already down to 300 hit points. There are double missile turrets here, so those Mutalisks now just simply ignoring the command center and now taking down the 2 missile turrets and now dealing damage towards that orbital command. And now top class Foo says GG. So just really well played by Marps Prime. Marps Prime opening up with a very interesting tech to tier 2 first instead of expanding, as he did not see that early refinery being placed on by top class Foo placing it down only after the Marine was out in order to shoo away that Overlord. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between top class Foo for you and Marps Prime here on Scrap Station.